is game 2 of this 3-game set in Toronto. Dodgers trying to even up the series at a game apiece against the suddenly red-hot Toronto Blue Jays. They've won 4 in a row for the first time this season. We say welcome inside with Orel and Nomar. I'm Joe Davis. Alana Rizzo joins us in just a moment. Heck of a pitching matchup today. R.A. Dickey goes for the Blue Jays. Clayton Kershaw goes for the Dodgers. And as we saw on Sunday last week, there's nobody else you'd rather have taken the ball when you need a win than this guy.
Well, what's the role of an ace? Not only to go out there and be dominant, but also the role of a stopper. And that's what Clayton Kershaw's role going to be once again. I mean, following a Dodgers loss, you see a 24-7 record since 2013 with a 1.83 ERA. And so far this year, there wasn't a bigger game than his last game last Sunday when he was going up with the Padres. When they were on the verge of losing 7 straight, what does Clayton Kershaw do? Well, he only goes out there and strikes out 14, throws a complete game, and not only that, he also supplied the run. He helped himself out. An offense that was struggling throughout that entire homestand comes up with a big hit. Clayton Kershaw does it all.
There was a time, though, Marino, where R.A. Dickey was a below-average pitcher, struggling to even stick in the majors. You were his pitching coach at the time, and you suggested he become a knuckleballer, and the rest has been history.
Yeah, back then we called the pitch the thing because we didn't want the league or anybody in baseball, including our coaching staff, to know what he was going to throw, because the thing was really the only thing that he was throwing that was getting people out. So he didn't have confidence to throw it then, but he said, you know what, you tell me when to throw it. I started calling it about 40% of the time. We sent him back to AAA, said you need to become a knuckleballer, and today it's all about one rotation. If he has one rotation on the ball, we're going to kill it. If he has less than one rotation on the ball, he'll be very hard to hit.
Hard to find separate ends of the spectrum more than this. The knuckleballer in R.A. Dickey and the guy with the filthiest stuff on the planet in Clayton Kershaw. It's the Dodgers and the Blue Jays in game 2 of this 3-game set. Kershaw tries to pitch the Dodgers to a series tie and set up a chance for a winning road trip tomorrow. Coming to game 2 of this 3-game set after the Dodgers dropped the opener 5-2 last night. Try to tie the series at a game apiece, set up the rubber match for tomorrow when Ross Stripling goes for the Dodgers against Marco Estrada of the Blue Jays. Closed captioning for today's broadcast is brought to you by Chumash Casino Resort, where we are all about you. So the Dodgers, one night after scoring 2 runs on 10 hits, have a similar looking lineup. A couple of changes down near the bottom of it. Of course, one of them is always going to be the case with Clayton Kershaw pitching, and that is A.J. Ellis into the lineup doing the catching. But it looks the same at the top with Utley, Seager, and Turner. Gonzalez, Puig, and Kendrick in the middle of the order. Jock Peterson has reached base in 15 of his last 16. Crawford last night, his first multi-hit game of the season, and then Ellis hits 9. Yasiel Puig was hitless last night, but had that outfield assist to tie him for the National League lead with 4 this season. And the Blue Jays taking the field behind R.A. Dickey. 16-15 now is Toronto. They've won 4 in a row for the first time this season. 3 of those 4 wins coming in their final at-bat. They had back-to-back walk-off wins against Texas and then winning it in the 8th inning yesterday on Pilar's home run. So here's R.A. Dickey, who at 41 years old is the 3rd oldest player in the major leagues, behind just Bartolo Colon and Ichiro, both sitting at 42 right now. And he's given up 24 runs, which is the 3rd most in the American League, but he was pretty good his last time out.
Yeah, he is. He has not won a game since his first start, and he's going to throw that knuckleball anywhere from 81 miles an hour down to about 61 miles an hour. So he's got the 20-mile-an-hour differential to be able to change speeds, like compared to a guy who has a big fastball and then a breaking ball like Clayton Kershaw. But he's going to use the knuckleball to change speeds, and he'll pretty much throw it 95% of the time. That fastball he'll sneak in every once in a while. But now at 41, the base and the foundation of throwing this pitch to stabilizing will really be the difference if he has a good one or a bad one.
What's it like facing a knuckleballer, Nomar?
It's really not fun. It's a totally different game. And the one thing about R.A. Dickey is the fact that he does throw it harder. Because most of the time when he's facing a knuckleballer, it's usually just that soft one, like Ora was touching on, and go that 65 mile an hour, maybe 70 mile an hour. A lot of times batters, and I know myself when I faced one, I'd almost take it analogy back home when you're playing wiffle ball, maybe more stress, you know, standing up a little bit, maybe go with a little different stance than you're used to. Some take that mentality once, so to slow yourself down, and you're not really geared up because of the speed. And the other thing too, some guys think, well, I don't want to ruin my stance facing a knuckleballer, because it is a totally different game with a knuckleballer compared to a guy who's throwing your 90-plus slider, curveball, traditional type of pitcher.
Marcus Stroman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah, last night's starter for the Blue Jays, who went 7 innings. Chase Utley familiar with R.A. Dickey from their days together in the National League East, with Utley with the Phillies, Dickey with the Mets. They are ready to go with the middle game of this weekend set. R.A. Dickey's first one, knuckles in there, strike 1. Now, they had said that they were going to open the roof, or there was a chance that they would open the roof for the first time this season today, but there's a chance of rain in the forecast, and they'll hold off a little while longer.
R.A. has always been a slow starter, kind of getting into it, and I think also it has to do with not at home, but the weather on the road early in the season. Harder for him in cold weather, windy weather. The rain or anything, the elements that he runs into like that, because it's all about feel and touch.
It's 0-2 to Chase Utley.
Wind is such a major factor for knuckleballers, and oftentimes people, when pitchers are going, wait, wind's blowing out, great, I don't like that for the hitter, it's an advantage hitter. But that's what the knuckleballer likes, the wind, little wind in his face with the wind blowing out. It's the other way where they're more susceptible.
Hard hit right at Darwin Barney. This Blue Jays defense around him has a bit of a different look to it this afternoon. Troy Tulowitzki had a mental day off from the lineup yesterday, but he's back in there this afternoon.
And be ready. Knuckleballer, a lot of ground balls. You're always on your toes. And the other thing, too, and I played behind Tim Wakefield for a lot of years, they have a tendency to work fast. And R.A. Dickey works really, really fast.
First one to Corey Seager, misses low. That's ball one.
The logical progression about the wind conversation that Nomar brought up compared to now we're in a dome is the elements here are consistent and good for RA if he has his good one. If he has his bad one, there's no wind really then to help him.
Boy, you were right about working fast.
Yeah.
Well, once he gets a feel for it, he wants to go again.
And when you're playing defense, you absolutely love it.
2-2 on Seager.
You'll see a lot of teams then try to maybe slow him down, maybe step out just a little bit because he is ready to go. I mean, the catcher doesn't have to worry about a sign. You know what's coming. Throw the knuckle.
First time Seager has faced a knuckleballer in the major leagues. Hardly anybody in this Dodger lineup has experience against Dickey.
The thing you said, Nomar, about standing or not taking your normal stance, with the old cliche, when it's high, let it fly, you're going to actually be swinging at higher pitches.
That's exactly.
You don't want to be in your crouch.
Right. That's another reason why some guys stand more upright because of that mentality. Well, if it's high, it has a tendency maybe to move less, or you have a better chance. When it's low, it has a tendency to keep dropping and going down, so you let those go. So by standing more upright, it helps you focus more on that higher pitch.
And Dickey has had some issues with control this season. He walks Seager. One out base runner for the Dodgers, brings up Justin Turner. Strike one.
Well, R.A. Dickey did get a walk, and some knuckleballers, like I said, no, Tim Wakefield, were easy to run on. R.A. Dickey, not the case. He's really quick to the plate, and he also has 29 pickoffs over his career, so he's got a good move at first.
Facing his former Mets teammate here in Turner. Justin was in New York from 2010 to 2013 before went over to the Dodgers. Dickey with the Mets almost that same exact window, 2010 to 2012. And you see the two starters today as good as any. They're picking runners off. Here's the 0-2, and Turner pops it up. Bautista comes on. Barney goes out. Bautista calls him off. Round number 2. The final season in New York for Dickey. Cy Young season as a 37-year-old in 2012, and then they dealt him, the Mets did, the following offseason, and a 7-player deal that included Noah Syndergaard from the Blue Jays to the Mets. And of course, Syndergaard turning into one of the great young power arms in the game.
R.A. quick to the plate and quick to home. Really nice right-handed snap throw.
Adrian Gonzalez takes ball 1. 1 for 4 last night for Adrian. Plays first base again this afternoon. He will DH tomorrow, Dave Roberts is planning. And that means either Chase Utley or Justin Turner will start at first.
And that's one thing about playing these American League teams. You can try to give them, some of these guys, a little bit of rest without totally taking them out of the lineup. Try to give them a break, at least on their feet, especially on the turf.
Good timing for a couple things on this road trip for a Dodgers team that has struggled to score runs recently. Number one is the ability to utilize an extra hitter in the lineup with a DH, with this being an American League trip. And the other is the timing of the off days, 2 of them this week. Gonzalez flies it towards the left field corner. Saunders is over, out of room. Of course, hope everybody enjoyed the off days, because out of them for a while. This is day 2 in a 20-day stretch when the Dodgers won't have a day off.
Well, then they won't have. They're not going to have a day. They're going to have 1 day off in the next 5 weeks.
The basic agreement reads that you can't play more than 21 games in a row without an off day, and they're going to stretch that right up to the limit.
Yeah, they are. Now, oftentimes, whenever you have a makeup game and they're looking at that off day because both teams might be off to make that game up, you have to agree to it. Players have to agree to play that day.
Gonzalez shoots a base hit down the left field line. Saunders is playing him towards the line, so Seager holds up at second on a 2-out single from Adrian Gonzalez.
Yasiel's coming up right now. Adrian does a good job staying inside that ball and driving it the other way. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a full shift, but it was definitely a heavily pull, and you're going to see that. You normally do play pull with a softer throwing knuckleball out there. He just does a good job going the other way.
So 2 on with 2 out for Puig. He went 0 for 4 in the opener last night. And takes ball 1. Dave Roberts talking about Puig before today's game, saying there's a couple things. Number 1, he needs to be more aggressive in the zone. Number 2, he needs to be less aggressive out of it. That approach has deteriorated some after a really nice first couple of weeks where he showed more patience than he had shown in the past. And look at the look on his face in his first knuckleball experience with Dickey here.
There might not have been any knuckleballers in Cuba. I mean, it's such a rarity over here in the big leagues, and I mean, even in high school and college and then in other countries. That, yeah, this might be like the first time he saw snow.
You think he's going to come out of his shoes at one?
Yeah, but
yeah, I know.
I mean, that childish smile that we have seen from Yasiel over the years at different things when it's the first time he has seen something. When he went to the zoo, when he saw snow for the first time, when he's leaning off the tower on the off day,
shaking his head.
Dickey on 2-2, and he puts it in play to short. Tulowitzki circles around it and throws him out. Dodgers with some traffic against Dickey in the first. On to the second, or on to the bottom of the first, and Clayton Kershaw takes the mound for the Dodgers. Jays coming out for the first time, a lineup that is heating up, and 12 runs the other night and 5 more last night. And here's the starting 9 that John Gibbons sends out there. Kevin Pillar, who started the season as the leadoff man, is back up there for the second time in 3 games, and it's Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion. Tulowitzki's in there for the first time in this series, hitting 6. All against Clayton Kershaw makes his first start against the Blue Jays. Well, they both have long hair. That, in fact, is Clayton Kershaw. First pitcher in big league history to open a season with 6 consecutive starts of 7+ innings, 5 strikeouts, and no more than 1 walk.
And that fastball in right there, Clayton knows when he doesn't have his favorite pitch, it has a tendency to leak over the middle half, and that'll be very important for him to own that corner. Because this strength of this lineup with these power hitting guys, they all can handle the fastball in.
Pilar with a game-winning home run last night against a team that he grew up rooting for in West Hills, California.
That one got a large piece of AJ. The left leg tucked down, so the shin pad not really in a position the way it's designed, where it's as strong its padding is in the front. There on the top is probably the weakest pad he has on.
Kershaw home with a 1-2, and Pilar takes it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And start on Sunday for Kershaw. Complete game, 3-hit shutout. Struck out 14. It was a remarkable performance even without context. But when you throw in the context that the Dodgers had dropped 6 in a row and desperately needed somebody to step up, even more impressive what Kershaw was able to do.
I think the context was really important because he recognized how important it is. You don't want to drop 7 in a row.
And he gets Pilar to begin his afternoon.
And then you recognize how the offense was struggling as well. I mean, the offense was almost non-existent over that week at home. So all of those things considered, to have that type of performance, I mean, he did it also on the offensive side. That's how bad the offense. It was just a 1-0 game, and he had to supply the run. So it was just an incredible performance. It was needed. And knowing that going in, we talked about it almost was like a playoff game, that kind of importance or feeling, and to do what he did. Wow.
How about this matchup against the MVP Donaldson, who takes one off of the inside ball one. Kershaw was the first pitcher in 6 years to have his team's only RBI in a 1-0 complete game win. Matt Latos did it for the Padres against the Giants back in May of 2010. Donaldson 0 for 2 last night, walked a couple of times. 9 home runs, tied for the American League lead with Jose Altuve, the 5'6" slugger down in Houston. 2-2.
First inning, we're already seeing 93s and 94s from a guy who's won multiple Cy Youngs against an MVP. This is a personal battle already.
First time he's faced the Blue Jays. Big breaking ball. AJ couldn't squeeze it. We'll do it again. Only 3 more teams left that Kershaw's not faced: Boston, Minnesota, Baltimore. It's that American League East tour. There's a chance that he'll see Boston and Baltimore later this season. 2-2 on the way, and Donaldson fouls it off.
Early in this game, both Pilar and Donaldson are making Kershaw work. And these guys, they have big swings. We know that. We've talked about the offense, how great it was last year and how they led in almost every offensive category. They make some contact.
We have some really good microphones down there. Batista was broadcasting last night.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're going to get Clayton to do a little color.
Yeah, 4-man booth. Payoff to Donaldson. Got him. Cut it up on the hands. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the afternoon.
They haven't seen this before. They're talking to each other as they leave the batter's box in a strikeout, informing the next hitter what's going on. Donaldson was locked in on the low one, being able to foul that cutter off, but then Clayton went up the ladder and got him.
And now he gets Bautista. And how fun is this today? Kershaw against this lineup. 9 right-handed hitters, Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion in succession, all hit at least 39 home runs a season ago. It was one of the greatest lineups in baseball history as far as runs per game last year, and it's mostly unchanged. 1-1. So far, though, not as successful. Down in the middle of the pack this year in runs per game. Heating up over the last week or so. 1-2 on Bautista.
If you're going to miss over the middle of the plate a little bit, at least it's going to be down. That one on that pitch right there, because I'll tell you, if he had that one a little bit up, that would have been a mistake. But it's good that he's trying to establish the inside first on these hitters to maybe open it up later in the game. Because like you just saw Donaldson as he walked off talking to Bautista. Well, in between innings, they're going to be talking about, hey, listen, he's looking like he's trying to jam us right. He's pounding in. Sometimes you want to have a tendency to cheat to try to get the barrel out there. And when you're thinking that as a hitter and you're trying to cheat, now you're really susceptible to the outside pitch. Because you're thinking, okay, I got to clear my hips, get my hands in, and all of a sudden you go away. Now you have nothing on it. You either swing and miss, you let it go, or you hit a weak ground ball.
You saw it right there on the last swing. They were coming in. Bautista was opening up and threw it right down the middle, and you just kind of had a terrible hack. See there, he's on that.
He was on one from Maeda last night for a 2-run homer that started the scoring. His 6th long ball of the year. Nobody has homered more than Jose Bautista over the last 6 seasons. Another 2-2 from Kershaw. That ball is ripped to left. Kendrick turns. It's off the top of the wall. Howie has a hard time getting it out of his glove, and a double for Bautista.
Well, he kept coming in there. You see AJ looking for it, that fastball in, and you can see as he's reaching for it, talked about it, you really got to get it in on these power right-handed hitters of this Toronto Blue Jays, and if it leaks over the plate, this is what's going to happen. He's already established that he's going to be coming in there. And that's the other thing, as a hitter, right-hander, you know he's coming in. And on some guys you might think, oh, now they're going to go away.
Encarnacion with a fly ball to left that will hang up there for Kendrick and end the inning. Bautista forgot there were 2 outs. He was tagging. No score after 1. Second inning and no score with the roof closed again here at the Rogers Center in Toronto. A pretty nice weather weekend here, but not quite nice enough for them to open this place for the first time. Kendrick shooting a fly ball foul The first offering from R.A. Dickey. He walked one, gave up one hit in the first. Kendrick putting together a good road trip. He's got 6 hits over the 3 games. That included that 4-hit game in Tampa Bay. Tulowitzki. One gone.
You know, it's kind of an off day for a pitching coach and a manager, other than the pressure of having a knuckleballer on the mound. John Gibbons and Pete Walker over there on the Blue Jay bench, when they think about RA is going to be on the mound, normally you're evaluating your guy's stuff every pitch, how the matchup's going to be later in the game, what's he got to do pitch sequence wise. But today with RA, you just kind of sit down, put your seatbelt on, and know there's going to be walks and wild pitches. He's going to lose the feel for it for 2-3 hitters in a row, and then if he gets it back in time, he'll hit a 0 in that inning. But there's nothing you can really do as a pitching coach or as a manager.
Joc Pederson.
You hope your catchers catching them all, because they also know. I mean, it's a mental grind for the catcher as well.
Josh Thole is doing the catching for him today, and has caught more than half of his career innings. That's really what he's made his name on, is catching Dickey. That started in New York. He was one of the pieces in that 7-player deal that brought Dickey to Toronto and sent Noah Syndergaard to the Mets. A 2-1, and Joc lifts a fly ball to deep center field. Pillar's back on it, turning and watching it fly up near the hotel in dead center. It is a mammoth home run for Joc Pederson to start the scoring. Wow.
Well, since 2013, R.A. Dickey has allowed 90 home runs. That's 91 right there. Most in the major leagues since then. But that's where you're susceptible with the knuckleballer. Guys are going to go up there. We talk about that big stance, taking big swings, and if it doesn't move, they catch one. Look at all the rotation right there. Orel mentioned that it's better when there's no rotation than there is one to numerous rotations. There was a lot of rotation on that ball, and Joc Pederson crushed it.
His second farthest home run of the season. Longest was in San Francisco. Number 5 for him to lead the club, and the Dodgers get Clayton Kershaw a 2nd inning lead. Crawford lined out on the first pitch, and A.J. Ellis takes a strike.
You saw the slow-mo of that knuckleball. There was about 3 to 4 rotations. That is way too many for a knuckleball. Probably twice a game, RA will throw a ball that has 0 rotation. That actually is almost impossible to control. They're really looking for somewhere less than 1 rotation to be able to understand the movement and to control it.
Ellis bounces one to Tulowitzki, who juggles, picks it, and throws him out. Joc Pederson with a solo shot against R.A. Dickey. That knuckleball floated up there, and Joc went after it for number 5 of the season. Measured at 434 feet to dead center, and it's 1-0 LA. the hotel rooms. Don't zoom in too far. All right, we got some Dodgers fans up there. And just below the video board, that giant video board in center, is the hotel bar. I think Jock's home run falling right into a Canadian lager. He crushed it at 434 feet. Kershaw goes back to work with a lead, delivering 0-1 to Justin Smoak.
In the olden days, they used to put the room rate on the back of the door as you went in, and you see the poster card of the room rate. I wonder if their room rates change, Nomar, game days. Joe?
They do. They do. Yep. The rates go up for nights or days where there's a game. The rooms right now that don't look out to the ballpark, because there are rooms that don't have the park view, a little more than 300 Canadian dollars a night. So I wonder what those rooms with field views are on a game day. Kershaw got his glove on it, and Seager has no play. Infield single for Justin Smoak to begin the second.
This is one where Clayton might want to, this is beforehand knowing where your infielders are and also knowing how the ball is hit, whether it's maybe just let it go, but instinctively you're always trying to make the play.
I can remember in my day those kind of balls sometimes having enough time to pull your glove back just at the last second.
Troy Tulowitzki bunts through it, strike one. Old NL West rivals, long time Rockies shortstop, is now in his second season in a Blue Jay uniform. Came over at the trade deadline last year. Only played about half the time because of an injury to his shoulder. Numbers were not good after the deal, and they are not good to begin this season. He pulls a soft line drive, base hit on the left. And Tulowitzki, after getting the day off yesterday, has a hit. Back-to-back singles against Kershaw, leading off the second.
Well, I think they were talking about Troy Tulowitzki getting one of the days off, whether it was last night or today, because of the day game following the night game. You know, take it easy on his body, but also they were talking about also getting a mental blow, right? Well, I think yesterday was off because, too, he has a lot of experience facing Clayton Kershaw, being for Colorado for so long. So, okay, take last night off and get in there against Clayton and base hit.
Yeah, it might seem backwards trying to shove a guy who's struggling into the lineup against Kershaw, but remember, last night was Maeda, and it's no fun to face a guy for the first time while you're trying to break out of a slump. Michael Saunders misses on a bunt for strike one. Saunders down to the 7 spot tonight because Kevin Pillar is back in the leadoff role, where he began the season. Quickly behind, 0-2. Saunders is 0 for 3 with a walk in last night's game. Having a career year so far because he's staying healthy for the first time. Ellis able to keep it close proximity. Runners hold.
Huge block there for AJ. First and second, no out. And all of a sudden it could have been second and third, no out. And you have an idea, if R.A. Dickey settles in with a guy like Clayton on the mound, you don't want to put him in that hole. Sometimes goes unnoticed, those little defensive things that change a game.
Kershaw's 1-2, and a breaking ball that Saunders lays off evens the count. Clayton Kershaw coming off that 1-0 win against San Diego on Sunday. With 14 strikeouts in a game where he had more swings and misses than he did balls. Bouncing ball to second. Utley tags the runner, turns around and flips to first to get him. Great body control from Chase Utley for the double play, and 2 gone here in the second.
He made that play with reckless abandon. He didn't care about his own safety.
He goes in hard, to get this high chopper, knowing that it would be tough just to try to turn the double play, but taking it himself. You talked about how hard he went in there and then just flips it to first base. As we look at the Morongo slow-mo cam, there's the reckless abandon, making sure he gets at least that one and then spinning around.
You know, a lot of second basemen, they ease up and go into their chop steps early there, and then they have to reach for the runner because the runner's trying to avoid them, and then the reach throws them off balance and they can't make that throw as quick. But Chase just goes right into him, you know, and keeps himself under control and can get rid of the ball.
This guy is a joy to watch on a daily basis. Darwin Barney waits on this 1-0 from Kershaw. 1-1. Hey, impressive, Nomar, by the way. They didn't even give us the Morongo Casino card. No warning that that was coming. It just showed up and you nailed it.
Yeah, I know it internally when Morongo is going to be shown.
You feel it coming?
I can feel it. The Morongo slow-mo cam, especially on a play like that. I mean, how do you not?
Yeah, true.
I can't wait until we get our booth cam in.
This game's tied at 1. Darwin Barney with an RBI single to plate Justin Smoak. How about the year this guy's having? He looks like a different guy at the plate.
Having a nice, confident bat flip there after he gets his base hit. Knows it's a battle facing a. I mean, it's Clayton Kershaw.
Does he yell at our
I don't know.
bench?
Yeah,
he does. Whoa. What is that reaction?
I understand Clayton's.
Darwin Barney, of course, for a short period of time was a Dodger for the last 2 months of 2014, and then a couple games last year before they dealt him to the Blue Jays in September. But I'm not sure of any reason for the reaction that he had.
Well, we talk about how guys have a little bit more adrenaline and it's a little more personal when they go back and play against an old team, but he wasn't the Dodger that long. that looked like 15 years of emotion.
That looked like a reaction maybe for Tulowitzki to Colorado. He didn't like the way he got dished out of there.
That was
he played like 30 games. Hitting is contagious, and so is personality on this Blue Jays team.
Yeah, that is completely out of personality for him. That's it. That's that Blue Jay where they wear their emotions on their sleeve and they don't roll them up ever. It's just all right there in front of you.
Kershaw facing the 9-hitter Josh Thole. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bautista with that epic bat flip in the postseason last year. Donaldson with his everyday hair on fire style. And I don't know that there's really a right or wrong unless you're looking at it from a traditional sense where there's a right way to play the game and a wrong way. But some people like it, some people don't.
I love the emotion. You know, I think there's a line where you say, oh, now you're showing up your opponent. And I think that's the one that people worry about people crossing. But I think it's great for the fans. I think it's great for the game. I never got upset if a guy hit a home run off me and bat flipped or, you know, kind of gave me some body language that felt like he was kind of pimping it.
Right. But but if it's 8-0, if you're winning 8-0 and they do, that's the problem. That's the issue. It's like bat flipping. Hey, it's 8-0. You're probably going, listen, I got an 8-0 lead. Here comes a fastball. I'm trying to get in there. Don't bat flip me there. Of course.
Not then.
Right.
Totally to the opposite field, peeling foul. So how about if you guys are in that dugout and you see Darwin Barney do that, if you're in the Dodger dugout?
Oh, I mean, one year, understand, like, what's his problem? All right, like you said, he's only there for 30 games, understanding it. But, you know, one thing's the emotion because you're facing Clayton Kershaw and you're going, this is a guy in runner in scoring position. But, you know, I wouldn't mind the bat flip because it's Kershaw, but the look in the dugout is the other thing. That's a different, because that's more of a message than just an emotion. There's
it looked like a look and a yell, too.
Right. So that's the difference.
Already 41 pitches deep. Here's number 42, and there's out number 3 on his 3rd strikeout of the game. Well, the Blue Jays tie it, and a 2-out hit from Darwin Barney.
here in this ball game with two former Cy Young Award winners opposing one another. Of course, the Dodgers' Clayton Kershaw already with 3 Cy Youngs to his credit, could have easily been a 4th. However, back in 2002, it was R.A. Dickey that took the award. 209 votes as far as the Cy Young for the National League is concerned. We have ourselves a pitching duel here and a bit of a battle, guys.
Yeah, R.A. Dickey keeping Kershaw from one of those 4 in a row. And Alana, only 2 guys have ever won 4 consecutive Cy Youngs. Can you guys name them?
Wow.
Cy Young.
Yeah, it wasn't an award yet.
Chase Utley with a solid base hit into center to begin this 3rd and give you guys an extra second to think about it.
Did Roger do that? Maddox?
Maddox is one. From 92 to 95. Randy Johnson.
Oh,
is the
unit.
other. From 99 to 02. Sandy Koufax won 3 in 4 seasons when they gave out just 1, not 1 to each league. But Koufax going on that run where he won 3 in 4 years was part of what prompted baseball to start giving away a Cy Young to the American League and the National League.
Spread the joy.
Corey Seager walked against R.A. Dickey his first time. Yeah, waits on this 0-1 from the knuckleballer. It's a jam shot, and it gets by Donaldson. Utley will hold on at second.
I thought Utley was going to go. He recognized that ball getting off the glove of Donaldson. He's probably talking to himself, going, "Man, could I had a chance?" Because this was a slow one. Right now, you're looking, and then when you see him knock it down, you're thinking, okay, did he slow it down enough that I can possibly get from 2nd to 3rd? Watch Utley, he's there, his head's up, he sees that, looking at the base and taking a strong turn and aware of everything. Did somebody cover 3rd? Did the shortstop go there? Did the pitcher get there?
So a good chance here for Justin Turner and the Dodgers. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Tie game in the 3rd. Justin flied to right his first time and looks at ball 1. 4 for his last 7 after a mini slump. Started to hit it really solidly towards the end of that Rays series. And a couple of nice base hits last night.
Justin carrying his own pine tar rag there on the front of his helmet.
I was going to say.
He has got it really cooked on there today.
Doesn't look as good pine tarred up on these matte helmets. Bigger contrast. The old ones were shiny to begin with, so it kind of blended in. This really stands out.
This one you can really see.
That's dangerous to the people that are sitting just above the Dodger dugout. I'll explain why.
I was going to make you. Bouncing ball up the middle, off of the glove of Barney, and they're loaded.
Maybe a little karma for that reaction after the base hit now to not play very good defense on that ball for Darwin Barney. Pine tar on the rim of the helmet, though, is dangerous because if you have a bad at bat and you come back to the dugout and you're a helmet thrower, sometimes it sticks to your hand and then all of a sudden it ends up in the stands.
You've seen it happen?
I have 2 or 3 times. Guys are going to throw it down the tunnel right as they're getting back to the dugout because they're mad and they see the tunnel's empty, but then the helmet sticks to their gloves and it goes a little different place than they were aiming.
This ball gets by. Chase Utley coming home. Here's the throw, and they got him. This one will likely be reviewed. Tolley feeding and covering Dickey. And right now it's ruled as out number 1.
I think he got his foot in there. Chase didn't see it right away. You see the way he kind of hesitated before he came home, but that foot's in there. Watch.
And you don't blame James Hoy, home plate umpire, for making that call because the angle that he had.
Yep, there his foot's in there before the glove touches him.
Jim Joyce, crew chief,
On the headset with New York, this will likely be a 2-1 Dodger lead with runners at second and third and nobody out.
They're showing it on the big screen here, and after they show, you don't really hear like reactions like you usually do from a home crowd going, oh, he's out, got him. Yeah, they're like, oh, all right.
Somebody unplugged that video board.
They're making me nervous taking this long.
Still hasn't touched him till now.
Because we've seen, remember, I always get nervous. Usually when they take long, they usually say the play stands, as if there's not enough evidence to overturn it. But as we're looking at it, I see the evidence there. I think he gets the foot in there before there's even a tag. Right there, he's touching the plate. He's on the plate, and he's not tagged yet.
I'm going to be looking to see if Chase's foot is elevated or not, but it sure looks like it's down in the ground. I think they need to change that rule. Now that we're going to replay on all these runs and slides at home plate, I think that the foot just needs to be over home plate, because there's so many injuries there now when we see calls reverse that the guy has beat it. Yeah, has beat it, but they're not, their foot's not down on the plate. They're trying to save their legs.
Right.
So the run does score. The Dodgers quickly back in front of Dickey, 2-1. I'm going to say it better. I've already filled in the box on my scoreboard. So.
I did too.
Chance for a crooked number for the Dodgers here in the third. Second and third, nobody out. Gonzalez pulls a base hit into center field. Seager's in to score. Here comes Turner. Pillar's throw hits the mound, and it's a 2-run single for Adrian Gonzalez. And the Dodgers take a 4-1 lead. Still nobody out.
Adrian doesn't wait around. He gets the first one that is just not moving that much. It stays on the same plane. Yes, it went left to right, but it stayed on the plane of the barrel of the bat the whole time, and Adrian just met it.
With the knuckleballer, because it's going so slow, it's really easy to get big. When I mean getting big, you have a tendency to pull off that front shoulder, open up, and swing. But Adrian Gonzalez staying on. He did that first at bat going the other way, and same thing on that one.
Yasiel Puig is 0 for 5 in this series. Stands in against Dickey, takes ball one. Had a befuddled look on his face his first time up there, seeing a knuckleballer for the first time. Has a similar look here.
Nomar, would you use the same size bat against a knuckleballer?
I did.
A lot of guys go to a bigger, heavier bat, slow themselves down a little bit.
Like, it's not your normal way. You do a lot of different things. You change things up because that ball is going all over the place.
I thought of that because the bat in Yasiel's hand looks brand new. It doesn't look like his normal gamer.
That's priceless.
If you want to know what he's feeling, just look at his face.
See what Yasiel does on 3-2. Strike 3. First K for R.A. Dickey, first out of the third.
It's a pretty good pitch right there by R.A. Dickey. I mean, and it's so tough. It's, as a hitter, you're going, well, I thought it was going to be moving out of the strike zone.
Howie Kendrick punches one to second. Barney, a fantastic start to a double play. There was a Barney error that opened the door for the big inning for the Dodgers, but he puts an end to the inning by starting a 4-6-3 twin killing. 3-spot for LA, 4-1 lead. arm. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions to learn about how you can get tickets to what should be a fantastic series and a great giveaway there. The Dave Roberts bobblehead on Wednesday. Clayton Kershaw with a 4-1 lead faces Kevin Pillar. Second trip through the order. Cade Pillar, his first time. It's one of 3 for him so far. Unbeaten in his career when he gets 4+ runs of support. And he's got 4 here with a chance to go to 80-0. That is just unfathomable that there wouldn't be one blip on the radar.
Consistency is off the charts. And when I saw the first 4+ at first when we were previewing the graphics before the game, I was thinking that would mean 5 and more, but that's 4. 4 is, that's a low number. You know, you hope as a starting pitcher to get 3 and you really think you can win that game, but like you said, there's no blip on the screen.
It's just very grateful.
I think AJ on that last foul tip took one off with the throwing hand. Good to see him stay in there, no problem. 1-2 on Pillar. Facing Clayton Kershaw, a guy he grew up, not really grew up, but in his teenage years and in his college years watching as a Dodger fan back in California. And he said yesterday when somebody asked him about facing Kershaw, it's similar to facing guys like Max Scherzer. He said, for me, I just set the bar low and try to have a tough at bat. Lower your expectations when you're facing somebody as good as this guy. Flips it in the air to right for Yasiel Puig. 1 away. Now Kershaw in that last game, the 1-0 shutout win. The last 3 times that a pitcher had the only RBI in a 1-0 win with 10+ strikeouts, all Dodgers. Kershaw on Sunday, and then twice Fernando Valenzuela. You got to go back to 1984 and 1981 to find 1-0 wins where you've got at least 10 strikeouts and your team's only RBI. Not a big surprise that Fernando's one of those guys, but it is a little bit shocking and does show you how significant Sunday was, that there's been nobody since Fernando that's done it.
Fernando is a great hitter, great athlete, great fielder, threw the bases really well from any position.
Donaldson, he yanks a line drive base hit. And on that hard surface, a big bounce to Kendrick, who holds him to a single.
Yeah, the surface here has gotten faster since they put it in, and it's not because they're doing anything different, but the little rubber pellets that the Sport Turf uses, they've started to compact. And so the players are saying now that the bounces are higher and that the ball goes faster through the infield. It has a long blade on it, but it's very deceiving, the length of the blade compared to the speed of the ball.
Here's Bautista, who doubled off Kershaw off the top of the wall his last time. Strike 1. I was talking to Justin Turner about this surface coming off of playing that infield in Tampa Bay. And while it's also an artificial surface, every surface is unique. So this one's faster than it used to be, but it's still not very fast. While at the same time, like you said, being bouncy, which is a bit of an interesting combination. It's not particularly fast, but it's extra bouncy. Oh, 1-1. 0-2. Bautista's doubled off Kershaw his first time up, his hardest hit ball of the year. 110-mile-per-hour exit velocity. The average in the majors, about 88 miles per hour.
As more and more statistical data gets easier and easier to access, like exit velocity and different things, I think we need to start to build a context in our brain, like what is a routine solid line drive speed.
This could be a routine double play.
Yeah.
5-4-3 and it is to get Bautista and get Kershaw out of this third inning with a 4-1 lead. Bottom third of the Dodger order. That means Jock Peterson leading things off. Homer to deep center, his first time up. To you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. September 18th, 2006. Nomar Garciaparra capping off the 4+1 game with a walk-off home run after the Dodgers hit those 4 consecutive homers, descended into extras.
It's a good day.
You put a lot of smiles on people's faces.
Yeah, they're happy to see you.
I was happy. Screaming around the bases.
Isn't that one that you say I rarely showed emotion on a field, but that one I couldn't hold it in?
And definitely.
And you get the.
Oh, most definitely. Right when I hit the ball and knew it was out, kind of did a fist pump, jumped in the air. I think it was like we were talking about emotion.
Did you do a bat flip?
No, I held it and fist pumped, and then I tossed it to the side. But
you didn't yell at their dugout.
No. But it was also the timing. It was in September. We were competing with the Padres down the stretch to get to the postseason.
Yeah.
So it was like a playoff game. So to come back the way we did, have those 4 home runs in a row, and then go down the next inning, we drop a run, and then we hit a leadoff. We got a leadoff walk, and then I hit it out. It just everything surrounding it was one of the coolest games I've ever been a part of.
One of the guys that hit one of the 4 home runs to get into extras is Russell Martin, who's on the Blue Jays now. Jeff Kent, then J.D. Drew, then Trevor Hoffman comes in the game and says, I'll put an end to this, right?
First pitch, Russell Martin hits a home run to left center. And then Marlon Anderson.
You got it.
You know, we talked about the context of Clayton's breaking a losing streak. When your team is down by so many runs and now you're the next hitter that is past the baton, but you're now so close to capping off the rally to come back. Is there more pressure in that context?
I don't think you're more pressure. There's more excitement. There's more like, okay, I got to keep it going. Not necessarily you put more pressure, but you just want to be a part of it. You want to be helping and continue passing the baton. That's all.
Peterson down on strikes. Carl Crawford now pulls a high fly ball to right, sending Bautista back. He's got it. 2 up and 2 down. Crawford has gone after the first pitch both times. Hit it solidly, but a line out to left and a fly out to right against Dickey. A.J. Ellis. Second start of the road trip. Started the first game down in St. Pete. Looking for his first hit. 0 for 6 on the trip. Behind 0-2. Against 41-year-old R.A. Dickey, who's trying to work his first 1-2-3 inning of the day, and will, as Justin Smoak steps on the bag. On to the bottom of the 4th in game 2 of this weekend set. Dodgers trying to set up a rubber match tomorrow. Kershaw back to the hill. Back in Toronto, bottom of the 4th inning coming up. First time in here since 2013 for the Dodgers. You know, the Blue Jays win last night snapped the 4-game winning streak for LA against the Blue Jays. Kershaw to face the middle 3rd of the order. Encarnacion, Smoak, and Tulowitzki. Encarnacion flied to left his first time, and the cleanup man swings at the first one. Who wants it? Shortstop's priority. And the second baseman Utley, pretty much a shortstop with a shift on, makes the play. Get a Dodger welcome mat on May 17th when the Dodgers host the Angels. Only available to the first 40,000 fans, courtesy of Farmer John. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Helpful for Kershaw to get some quick outs because the Blue Jays have made him work. He's just one pitch to get Encarnacion. And Justin Smoak, who scored the only run against him, takes ball 1.
That 4-run for the Dodgers is really good for Clayton's pitch count because now he can attack. If he was in a 1-1 game, every pitch would hold the game and is, you know, right there, and you're going to be a little finer. But with 3-run lead, he's going to be wanting to attack and see if he can give the team maybe 7.
Smoak offered. Kershaw's ahead 1-2. Two gone.
Strikeouts are hard to keep your pitch count down, but if you get them very quickly and there's not a lot of foul balls, that is very effective and very efficient.
You almost have to throw out, now with this pitch count, that old mantra that, oh, never give up an 0-2 hit or to a hitter. It's like, well, I'm going to try to put him away early.
Yep.
Tulowitzki singled against him his first time up in his 64th career at bat against Clayton Kershaw. 5-time All-Star, 5 of the last 6 seasons. First 10 years with Colorado, came over at the deadline last year. Former 7th overall pick out of Long Beach State, made his big league debut when he was 21 in 06. He's down 1-2.
Clayton did a good job establishing in, and now he is really starting to mix his pitches.
See what he goes to on 2-2. Got him. First 1-2-3 inning of the game for Clayton Kershaw. Snaps off a sharp one to Tulowitzki, who is the 5th strikeout victim of the day. On to the 5th. Dodgers up 4-1. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's Alana Rizzo.
Well, of course, R.A. Dickey known for the knuckleball, and here's some notable knuckleballers. Of course, the Niekro brothers. Charlie Huff, who was in the Dodgers organization as a pitching coach. Tim Wakefield, of course, of Boston Red Sox fame. Hoyt Wilhelm, R.A. Dickey. And the interesting note about the knuckleballers, guys, that all except for Wilbur Wood pitched into their 40s. R.A. Dickey 41. Guys reinventing themselves this way.
And Utley goes after the first knuckleball, Alana, and sends it to Pilar in center for the first out of the 5th inning. And again, it was Hugh Orel, part of a group that sat R.A. Dickey down early on in his career. Actually, not that early on in his career, but after several years, and said, look, we got to figure something out. You said to him, have you thought about throwing a knuckleball or becoming a knuckleballer?
Yeah, becoming a knuckleballer. And it was myself and Mark Connor, who was our bullpen coach with the Texas Rangers, and then Buck Showalter was our manager, and we had a lot of discussions about R.A. and we got to the point where we said, you know what, the best pitch is the thing, which at the time was the knuckleball, and we think he needs to throw it full time. And I was the one that delivered the message as we all came to that conclusion, and R.A. Dickey took it in one of the best ways ever, because he said, I want to be a big leaguer, and if you three, with your wisdom, don't think I'm going to be a big leaguer the way I'm pitching, I'm going to change.
Corey Seager cracks a base hit into right against him. He's reached all 3 times.
And it's one thing to have the thing, but has the thing evolved over time since he started focusing more on that knuckle?
Well, Alana just covered the list of knuckleballers, and RA's gotten a lot of tips from a lot of those guys. Charlie Huff was his first mentor that we hooked him up. I started making phone calls right away. As soon as he said yes, we started making phone calls to all the different knuckleballers to try and get RA with them. And RA wasn't valued as a top prospect, so it wasn't like the Rangers were going to just step up and start spending a lot of money to fly Charlie Huff in or to get RA there in front of him. So it became a commitment from RA and a commitment from Charlie Huff to give of his time. And then the other knuckleballers that he was around, like Tom Candiotti, got some time with him and the Negros. And so it was a quest and a mission from RA. I didn't feel naked coaching him because I had been around Tom Candiotti. I had been around Charlie Huff and had talked to them about the knuckleball. But it's completely different coming from the guys that throw it every day and have made a living with it and have perfected it. So RA learned a ton from them.
Nice play here on a Justin Turner bouncing ball and a 1-6-3 thing of beauty to help Dickey out of the 5th inning. Dodgers in front of the Blue Jays 4-1. We are halfway home in Toronto. To you by Jack in the Box. It's the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo, only at Jack in the Box. Both teams with a single run in the second. Dodgers got 3 to support Kershaw in the third. He's never lost. 79-0 when he gets 4 runs of support. Bottom third of the Toronto order. Here's Michael Saunders to lead off the inning. Grounded into a double play his first time. Former Seattle Mariner. He played in only a handful of games last year in his first year in Toronto because of a freak knee injury that he suffered during spring training, really before spring training even got started. When he stepped on a sprinkler head while shagging fly balls on the backfields down in Florida. Got healthy this offseason. Having a career year so far. Behind Kershaw 1-2. He was far from his first injury. Been several years that he'd been dealing with different injuries, trying to overcome them to live up to expectations the Mariners had for him. Clayton Kershaw today, 5 strikeouts. He's not walked anyone. Blue Jays have 1 run on 5 hits. RBI single for Darwin Barney back in the second. Ellis got a piece of that, or that ball got a piece of Ellis. He's taken a few balls off him today. Home plate umpire James Hoy says, "You okay?" And of course, AJ says he's okay.
How do you take one off the mask like that and then the next pitch not flinch?
Yeah. Take one off the mask and then call another pitch.
Yeah, right. He'd be calling for the ephus.
I'm done.
And he gets him swinging. Ellis has it. Will throw him out. Strikeout number 6 for Clayton Kershaw. We check in with Alana.
Well, guys, Clayton Kershaw and R.A. Dickey have more in common than just being Cy Young Award winners. They're both recipients of the Branch Rickey Award. It's basically a humanitarian award, service above self of Major League Baseball. It's given by the Rotary Club of Denver. And R.A. Dickey won the award in 2012, Clayton Kershaw in 2013 for their humanitarian efforts on and off the field, guys.
Here's Barney pulling one foul. Strike 1. Be interesting to see Darwin Barney's next few at-bats after his gesture and shout towards the Dodger dugout following his RBI single in the second. Big breaking ball, strike 2.
This is the base hit by Barney. Big hit. And we also talked about not only the reaction Clayton had, but also the reaction that Barney had was looking into the Dodger dugout with a bat flip. I'm just wondering if Clayton strikes him out here, does he look in their dugout too and have the same reaction, or does he just turn back to his?
Clayton will just put his head down, I think.
Well, Barney gets him again.
He didn't look in the dugout that time. He's been swinging a hot bat.
I'll tell you, he's a completely different hitter for me. He's always been a good contact guy, but there just seems to be more plate coverage and more bat speed, and we are seeing more aggressive swings from him. And that's kind of the personality of this Toronto team that he has taken on, but it's inside the batter's box for him.
Josh Thole struck out swinging his first time. And can't lay off. Strike 1. Thole in the lineup to do the catching for the knuckleballer Dickey. He was 5 for 30 this season. As Russell Martin's back up. And R.A. Dickey's personal catcher.
Isn't Doug Mirabelli Tim Wakefield's personal catcher?
Yep.
I think of other knuckleballers and who their personal catchers were.
You know, Dodger bullpen coach Josh Bard caught Wakefield for a short period of time too.
Yep.
Yeah, because Wakefield pitched for a long time, so he outlasted more than just one catcher.
It is a different technique too. You see A.J. Ellis's target for Clayton Kershaw go up. It was a little late one for A.J., but it was probably because it was a curveball. But with the knuckleball, as we'll see next inning, they just kind of let the glove just kind of flop, and they just stay as relaxed as possible. They don't really stiffen up. They don't want any stiffness as far as what happens to your wrist when you give a target.
Kershaw gets Tolley his 7th strikeout, the first out here in the 5th.
I've also seen some catchers when they're catching the knuckleballer where they actually kind of turn their legs sideways. You see right there at AJ how your knees, your shin guards are in front, where they kind of turn them sideways to actually help themselves catch that knuckleball.
Create some clearance.
Yeah. So they can move their arms. So sometimes your elbow, when you're in that squat, can kind of get caught in your leg and hit your leg when you're trying to move or catch certain pitches.
Back to the top of the order. Here's Pilar. Ball 1. 0 for 2 against Kershaw. Strikeout and a fly out. Big group of folks together watching the game today back in Los Angeles. They were together last night as well. Big group of Dodger fans. Grew up in West Hills. Although they are now converted Blue Jay fans. Pilar's explosion onto the scene from being a 32nd round draft pick out of a Division II school, went to Cal State Dominguez Hills. His bonus $1,000, and he's gone from that to the starting center fielder job last year when Michael Saunders tore his meniscus. And a monster first season, was a Gold Glove finalist, and is red hot right now. 2-1.
And because he hit the game-winning home run yesterday, everyone in that group that gathered yesterday had to come back today for luck.
Yeah.
As they should.
Well, you
didn't feel that way whenever you're like, hey, what'd you guys do when I was playing? Go back there again. Whatever it was, do it again. Where'd you sit? Sit there again. I was superstitious.
Well,
very little.
The guy, on,
just a tad.
With the guy on the mound today, they better go for everything they can get.
Yeah, right. And like we said, Pilar even said so. You lower your expectations, lower the bar when you're facing a guy like this. Just hope to have a competitive AB. But he pulls a high drive to deep left field that Kendrick turns around and watches bang off the wall. Barney's headed for the plate after Kendrick has problems picking it off the turf, and an RBI double from Kevin Pilar makes it 4-2.
It's approximate location of the ball he hit off at Joe Blanton yesterday. Yeah, it's a righty, yeah, it's a lefty, but he is swinging really well at the down and in fastball. And Darwin Barney with a pair of outs off at the crack of the bat, turning the bases and scoring the second run for the Jays.
And so Toronto brings a tying run to the plate here in the form of the most valuable player, Josh Donaldson, with 2 gone in the 5th inning. He is 1 for 2 against Kershaw today. And he takes a perfectly placed cutter on the inside, strike 1. There's that big curve, 0-2.
2 of the best pitches that Clayton has thrown today are right there. He knows you a guy like Donaldson and Bautista behind him, even though there's 2 outs with Pilar there at second, that he's got to go to the well right now. Some important numbers that are going on right now. 89 pitches, 4-2 Dodgers, bottom of the 5th. Good results so far, 4-2, but the combination of those numbers tells you the Dodger bullpen is going to have to do a job today.
1-2. Donaldson strikes out swinging. And Kershaw strands Pilar at second. With his 8th punch out of the day, Blue Jays get one back on Pilar's double, and it's 4-2. 1 in the second and 3 in the third, and Adrian Gonzalez had a 2-run single to cap that scoring. So we look at our Carl's Cam replay off R.A. Dickey. That made it 4-1. Toronto got one back in the 5th against Kershaw, and so it's 4-2. As we move on to the 6th, Gonzalez to lead it off with Puig and Kendrick to follow. Gonzalez fouls off the first pitch, strike one. Couple of singles against Dickey for him today, after he was 1 for 4 in the opener. And bounce back to Dickey. 1 out.
Josh Thole back there, you know, we talked about the targets and catching a knuckleballer. A little different posture with nobody on compared to when there's a man on, but you just see him. He'll flop that first baseman glove or so, just down there as relaxed as possible. And R.A.'s knuckleball usually breaks away from righties, so he's got that right leg kind of dropped back there, Noam, so he can reach better that way.
There's a pop up on the infield. Barney's got it. 2 up and 2 down.
It goes back to what we were talking about last inning. Just the catcher, how he wants to have that arm really loose, be nimble, being able to react, making sure his legs and knees are out of the way. It's all about just catching it, keeping the hand loose to be able to catch it.
Strike one to Howie Kendrick.
Yeah, and when you're facing a knuckleballer, you're not worried about framing the ball for the umpire.
You know what it almost looks like when you catch a knuckleballer is Little League, like 6 and under baseball, where the pitch takes the catcher's glove with it.
Exactly.
Howie waited on it, sent it in the air to center for Pilar, and a 1-2-3 inning. So Dickey has faced the minimum over the last 3 frames, needed just 7 pitches this time. Jam last inning. Pilar was at second. Donaldson, the MVP, was at the plate.
The third battle of the best right here. Strikeout, a base hit, and now the third battle. Clayton Kershaw starts him out with a Hall of Fame pitch inside, then public inning number 1. Now a good backdoor cutter attempt, and then that slider that looks like a fastball right down the middle and just buries to get him out of the jam. You nick and cut Clayton Kershaw, but you rarely get to him for big numbers because he can really pitch in a jam.
Nobody makes him bleed his own blood. Strike one to Jose Bautista. It was 1 for 2. Hammered a double off him his first time and then grounded into a double play. Big breaking ball hit sharply to short, so Siegel will have time to throw him out.
Coming in the bottom of the 6th inning, you see there 92 pitches. Blue Jays have made Clayton work so far, and it's not about them taking pitches. They've been making them work because they've been aggressive, attacking them, fouling pitches off, fouling off some of the tough pitches to get that pitch count up.
Encarnacion goes after the first one, strike one.
And it's also, you know, we always talk about those high leverage type of innings, and it's those 93 pitches for Clayton have felt more of those high leverage type innings rather than I'm just going over there have a couple easy innings here and there, even though he's had 1, 2, 3 inning, but still they've made him work, and he's had to challenge some guys and make sure that he's not making a mistake because of a lineup like Toronto has, that they can hit a mistake out of the ballpark.
Yeah, the interesting thing about his pitch count today, remember he's gotten the extra day's rest, so a little fresher, so they might decide that we can push Clayton to maybe 115, 117 pitches and get to Kenley. Early on, they were barely taking the starters over 100 pitches because they're trying to protect them coming out of spring training to build their endurance.
Remember, Kenley is well rested. He's only thrown 4 pitches on this trip.
I mean, it's easy to review Clayton's pitch counts here early in the season because they're talking 96, 91, 107, 116, 104, and 101. They rarely take him above 120, but we will see outings where he'll get into the 1-teens. And it might be that kind of day with the extra day's rest and the power of this Toronto lineup that you don't want to risk a bridge between he and Kenley.
This is a perfect example of why that pitch count has gotten up so quickly. Got Edwin Encarnacion fouling off some pitches and some tough pitches.
#100 pitch of the afternoon from Clayton Kershaw to Edwin Encarnacion. Results in a strikeout. His 9th of the day. 2 gone. Now the street leading up to Dodger Stadium is now officially Vince Scully Avenue. So come to the Dodger game Tuesday, May 10th. Get a Vince Scully Avenue t-shirt from Mercedes-Benz dealers of Southern California. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. So 2 away, and Justin Smoke was 1 for 2 today with a single and a run scored. Goes after the first pitch, checks on Seager. This is a 1-2-3 inning for Kershaw. 101 pitches gives him a good chance to go back out there for a 7th inning. To one more here in Toronto on this 5-game road trip. Then it's home for a long stretch for the New York Mets. Beginning on Monday. You notice there are no off days between the trip home. String of 20 consecutive days without one. Jock Peterson fouls off the first pitch from R.A. Dickey. Homered against him to begin the scoring in the second. And then Cade in the fourth. R.A. Dickey in his 14th major league season. Former Ranger, former Mariner, former Twin, former Met. Released a handful of times. So below average pitcher for the first eight years of his career or so. He's mostly out of the bullpen. And then totally reinvented himself into a knuckleballer. Won a Cy Young when he was 37 in 2012. He is the only knuckleballer ever to win the Cy Young. Here's 1-2 to Jock. Knuckles inside, and it's ripped foul into the second row. I hope everybody got out of the way of that one.
Everybody here used to hockey pucks coming up there, but hopefully that one didn't hit anybody. Good.
And this one gets through Jock. He got out of the way. I have no idea how, but he did. Speaking of hockey, legs. 5-hole.
Yeah.
Reverse 5-hole.
Well, Jock fouled one off his foot again at the beginning of this at bat and gave R.A. a look like, oh my gosh, I hit one off my toe the at bat before, fouled this one off, and now this one's between my legs.
I mean, he was totally throwing at him.
Oh yeah.
Wear this knuckle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Foul tipped into the mitt for strike 3. That's the third for Dickey today. One away.
Jock looked at home plate umpire like, I fouled it. And home plate umpire James Hoy's going, yeah, but he caught it. And he was hoping it fell down, but nope, he caught that clean.
Carl Crawford has gone after the first pitch all 3 times against Dickey today. Fly out to left, fly out to right. Now swing and a miss. And now a cue shot to Tulowitzki, who plays a tough bounce and gets him.
R.A. knew that Jock had been on him with the big home run to center field, so there was nobody on, and he went to the stretch on him to kind of quick pitch him and come at him to change the timing for Jock. And then as soon as he got him out, went right back to the windup to face Carl Crawford. Those crafty knuckleballers.
Ball 1 to Ellis. Started throwing that knuckleball in 05 in Texas. First game that he tried using it in the majors. He gave up 6 home runs. Gives up a long drive here that sends Pilar back to the warning track with room to retire the side. R.A. Dickey has settled in and then some, facing the minimum since Gonzalez's 2-run single back in the 3rd. 4-2 game. Dodgers in front. On to the bottom of the 7th, and because of an efficient 1-2-3-6, Clayton Kershaw able to take the hill here in the 7th inning. He has thrown 101 pitches. He has K'd 9. The Blue Jays have gotten 2 runs on 7 hits and no walks. Troy Tulowitzki takes strike 1. It's 1 for 2 today. His reunion with Kershaw, he faced so many times as a member of the Rockies. Behind it, 0-2. Pedro Baez getting loose in the Dodger bullpen.
No, I know you're close with Tulo. You see anything different about him? Why he's struggling so much?
Right now, he can't find, what he used to do before. I think we were talking about how much he's thinking too much. I think the new environment, getting traded last year, was kind of something that he had to deal with emotionally. And then pressing along here, thinking that he had to change maybe his batting style. He tried something a little bit different. And when you do that, now it's taking time to go back and recognize that, listen, you're Troy Tulowitzki. You're pretty successful at what you were doing before. Don't think too much and go have fun.
Kershaw gets him. Double-digit strikeout game again. And Clayton flashes his smile after the first out of the 7th. Strikeout totals the last 4 games, all reaching double digits. 10 at Atlanta, 10 against the Marlins, 14 against San Diego Sunday, and then 10 more today. Here's Saunders, who struck out once. And in fact, everybody in this lineup besides Jose Bautista and Darwin Barney have at least 1 K. Look at the way he's buckled down the last couple of innings to go deep into this game. 2-0, 2-1. There's been all the talk lately about Jake Arrieta the last year and what he's done, and it's been remarkable. The last 26 games in ERA below 1. There's an article, I don't know if you guys saw it in Sporting News, that Ryan Fagan wrote, utilizing some advanced stats that make the argument that Kershaw is at the very least just as good as Arrieta during that stretch. By some measures, one in particular that we'll get into in a second, quite a bit better than Jake Arrieta's been during that stretch. That statistic is fielding independent pitching, which basically just looks at the things a pitcher can control, like homers, walks, strikeouts. That's a base hit into center. Saunders' first hit of the day comes with 1 away in the 7th. And it's thanks to a better strikeout rate and a better strikeout to walk rate that by that category, fielding independent pitching, Kershaw has been better than Arrieta. And some people would say that that stat, fielding independent pitching, is a better measure of a pitcher than ERA.
Well, I think that stat, though, also factors in the type of pitchers. You have strikeout pitchers such as Clayton Kershaw, and then you have pitchers that aren't worried about the strikeouts, is worried about, pitching to contact. Don't mind, the ground balls, so you're not going to have as many strikeouts, so that statistic might not show up. But these guys, and also just know how to win, know how to grind out certain innings, know how to say, okay, I gave up an out here, a hit here, but I can get that double play ground ball, get them back in there. So it's, I'm not saying it's a bad stat, but at the same time, there's other factors that can go into it.
On the ground is second. Utley finds Seager, who turns the double play to finish the 7th inning. He needs just 11 pitches in the 7th and 4-6-3 to face the minimum for the 2nd inning in a row. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. Back here in Toronto, Dodgers in front 4-2 as Clayton Kershaw leaves the mound after the 7th, gets handshakes that usually indicate his day is finished. And he battled through on a day where the Blue Jays really made him work and ran that pitch count up. He still goes 7. Strikes out double-digit batters for the 4th consecutive start. And in position to win this game as Kike Hernandez comes in to bat for Chase Utley against Chad Girardo, who's replaced R.A. Dickey.
Side-winding left-hander. Puts a lot of people out more on deception and movement.
Kike off the end of the bat to Barney for the first out. All right, Dickey goes 7 innings today. He's up 4 runs. Only 2 of them were earned because of the error on Darwin Barney back in that 3-run 3rd inning. 3 Ks, walked 1, and on the hook at this point if the Dodger bullpen can hold on. There's a strike to Seager.
I'd really like to see the Dodgers get a couple more insurance runs here. Especially with this lineup like Toronto, just being up by 2, you're base hit or a walk and a home run away from tying the game. So runs now, next inning could be critical.
We're in the 8th inning now, where the Dodgers have an ERA above 7 on the season. And by the signs of the action down in the bullpen, it was Pedro Baez that was loosening. So you'd think he'll get the latest crack at the 8th. Joe Blanton yesterday gave up the 3-run homer to Kevin Pillar. Of course, it was Chris Hatcher to begin the season. And may be Hatcher again at some point, but right now trying to get his confidence back in lower leverage situations. 3-2 on Seager. Strike 3 caught on Seager, who is retired for the first time today. 2 gone in the 8th. Justin Turner's 0 for 3. He scored the last Dodger run on the 2-run single from Gonzalez back in the 3rd. Dodgers have brought up the minimum since then. Turner hits a high fly ball to deep left field, sending Saunders back to the corner. It's a fair ball and a home run. Turner's first of the season gives LA some insurance against Girardo in the 8th.
Well, we were just talking about getting some insurance runs, and Justin Turner provided that right here. Getting a breaking ball, staying back on it in the inner half, and then keeping it fair, doing a good job keeping this ball fair. It's an adjustment for a hitter, especially after you talked about maybe you change your stance a little bit from facing a knuckleballer. Now you're facing a guy who's throwing harder, coming in more, even though it's from a different angle. It's totally different than trying to get your timing back, and that was really good timing by Justin Turner.
Second Dodger home run of the day after Jock Peterson started the scoring with a solo shot in the 2nd. Gonzalez pulls a 1-hopper to Barney at 2nd. He gets him, and the inning is over. But Justin Turner's first home run of the season makes it 5-2 Dodgers. And a nice greeting with Adrian Gonzalez taking the selfie of what they hope is a series evening win. Kike Hernandez hit for Chase Utley last inning, stays in and improves the defense in left by moving Howie Kendrick into second. So Chase Utley comes out of the game, and so does Clayton Kershaw as Pedro Baez comes in here in the 8th inning. The inning that has been a nightmare for the Dodgers lately, with an ERA above 7 in this inning this year. It was the 8th inning last night where Kevin Pillar hit the game-winning 3-run homer against Joe Blanton. And so it's Pedro Baez's turn to try and lock this inning down.
The fireballer, 97, 98 miles an hour, pitches better up than down. Starting to mature a little bit, knowing the hitters are sitting on the gas, and he's been starting people off sometimes with a breaking ball to slow them down.
9-1-2 for the Blue Jays. Josh Thole has struck out both times today. Happy to see Kershaw out of there. And looking at a fastball for strike 1. Baez last time out came in game 2 in Tampa Bay. And while he didn't take the loss, he allowed 3 runs late in the game where the Dodgers were already trailing. They would later rally, and that rally went for naught because of the runs Baez allowed. You compared it to having hot coals on your head watching it if you're Baez, coming out knowing that the runs that you allowed led to the team's rally meaning nothing.
Yeah, you feel really bad. You know, you feel bad when you have a bad outing, but when then all of a sudden your bad outing puts the team so far behind it doesn't even look like they're going to make it back, and then all of a sudden they make a shot at it and they fall just short. It's painful to watch, even though you're pulling for them to come back and win the game. What's even more painful about that is that you're having a rough outing out there, and you know all of a sudden you've been left in there to kind of finish off the inning and not use another pitcher. If you concentration wanes or you don't really give it your what you feel is your best effort, and it seems not very consequential at the time, but then your team at the end makes it consequential, and you go, oh God.
Last night's hero on deck. And you get into the part of the order that can turn this game around in the blink of an eye if you're not sharp.
This conversation right here, A.J. Ellis is probably the most prepared catcher in all the big leagues. And Pedro Baez, they can't get on the same page. Well, sometimes Pedro's struggles are on what he wants to throw and what he's comfortable with throwing compared to what A.J. needs him to throw. Give him the best chance to get somebody out. When Pedro converted from third base to pitcher in the minors, he was mostly a 2-seam fastball guy. And as he got here to the big leagues, they found that he was most effective when he threw the 4-seamer up. And so mentally, there's times where he really needs to think of himself as a different pitcher.
On the ground to Corey Seager is short. Well, the count ran full. He's able to get him with a ground out. 1 away. An important out for Pedro Baez in front of the top of this Blue Jays order. Ninth inning will be Kenley Jansen's. That's not been the problem. The bridge to Kenley has. Pillar 1 for 3. An RBI double against Kershaw his last time. After the game-winning home run last night. Now, the home run that he hit last night came after they intentionally walked Justin Smoak. It was only the 2nd home run in the majors this year that came right after an intentional walk. Yonder Alonso did it for Oakland after Houston walked Coco Crisp earlier this year. Pillar said he totally understood what Dave Roberts was doing, trying to set up the double play, and with the right-handed pitcher on the mound, get a righty-righty matchup, but of course he used it as motivation, Pillar said.
It doesn't matter what the situation. You're walking somebody in front to get to you. That's your mentality. You want to make them pay.
He said he thinks it's the first time anybody's ever walked someone to get to him. And he strikes out on a high fastball at 97 and 2 away. Follow the Dodgers live with the MLB.com app, Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, and plenty more. You can download the app. It's the #1 app for live baseball. Get it on your phone and tablet. We always have it cranking up here in the booth. I see over on Omar's iPad right now it's going. It's going on my iPad. It's going over there on Oral's phone. Everybody's dialed into the at-bat app. Josh Donaldson facing him how you want to face him. Base is empty, 2 gone. Dodgers have limited him in this series. He's 1 for 5. 41 home runs last year. Led the American League in runs batted in. Dodger pitching consistently has been extra careful against Donaldson in this series. Baez home with a 2-0, and Donaldson swings through it, 2-1.
Anyway, Pedro, way to go right after him. You're talking about being careful. This is a time where you can't be too careful. You don't want to walk him right now because of the guys behind him. Let him earn it. Go out there, challenge it.
Popped him up. Isn't this a sight for sore eyes? 1-2-3, 8th inning for Pedro Baez. And we go to the 9th with the Dodgers in front, 5-2. By BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. Key inning today, that 3-run third for the Dodgers. Solo shot sandwiching that inning. Jock Peterson went deep in the 2nd. Justin Turner did so in the 8th. And Joe Biagini comes in, trying to keep it a 5-2 game. Yasiel Puig is 0 for 3 and thrilled to see a traditional pitcher on the mound. And that look on his face all afternoon against R.A. Dickey. A small smile on his face, as if to say, what in the world am I supposed to do against this thing?
Now he gets to face a fastball that's about 93 to about 97 miles an hour.
Yeah, he'd be the happiest he's ever been to see a fastball at 97.
Not the happiest.
Huh?
Happier.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah. Yeah.
Still don't like facing 97.
It's all relative, though. Still not very happy being the happiest has been in '97. Offered at 90 there, 1-2. Well, for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the ninth, Bautista, Encarnacion, Smoke, Tulowitzki due up against Kenley Jansen. And then in the finale tomorrow, Ross Stripling for the Dodgers and Marco Estrada for the Jays. It's another morning start out in California. Puig down on strikes.
Quite a sequence of pitches to Yasiel with the fastball as high as 95, 96, and then you go to a slider at around 90, and then a curveball down there. What was that, 71?
Oh, sharp break.
Yeah, and that's 25, 26 miles an hour differential.
Howie Kendrick takes ball one at 95 this time.
Looking at the pitcher, it looked like that one slipped out of his hand. It's nice to slip out of your hand at 95.
Yeah.
Well, what you're looking at when a guy changes speeds 25 miles an hour, let's say, for every 3 mile an hour, it's 1 foot of reaction time for the hitter. So we're talking almost 8 feet difference between the fastball and the curveball, just in velocity alone. Then you got the break. How many feet you think you can cover, Nomar? Not just reaction time, but where your swing is effective.
You know,
1.5 feet.
I never thought of it that way about how many feet
where
or whatever.
Where the bat is in the zone and it can hit the ball firmly. Maybe 1.5 feet, 18 inches.
Maybe. You know, I try to work on getting my bat in the zone and staying in the zone as long as I possibly can before it starts coming out. But it's not a very big spot. It's not very much.
Not compared to 8 feet differential.
No. Oh, definitely not that much. No question.
And you know, good differential in a pitch is 10, 11 mile an hour. You know, when you get in the double digits, that's a good differential. And that's why Clayton Kershaw's curveball is so outstanding, and then the slider and the cutter and the fastball. Not only the sharpness of the break, but the differences in the speeds. And I think that's sometimes why we see some of our bullpen pieces struggle with Chris Hatcher and Yimi Garcia when he's healthy, and Pedro Baez, is that there are 2 or 3 pitches that they throw are kind of in a tighter window.
Howie Kendrick earns the walk against Biagini.
No matter if it's 96 or not, still got to get a strike. Got to get it in the zone.
Jock Peterson homered against R.A. Dickey, then Cade twice. Those numbers, guys, hitting 280 at this point, and it's somehow, even with all the lightning he has in that bat, been a quiet 280. 5 home runs lead the club. That kind of sneaks up on you.
Well, Nomar has talked about it before, but where you hit in the order is protecting Jock's batting average.
Hitting down the lineup. I mean, here's an example. Let's say he works a walk right here. Hitting down there, you're going, he's got a home run, but he's got, let's just say that was a hit. You're 1 for 3. It's a good day. Helps with the average staying up as compared to when he's leading off. You're already 1 for 4. This possibly could get your 5th at bat, maybe late in the game, and you're going, all right, now I might just got 1, but I'm 1 for 5.
So if you get that hit, which we've noticed with his better approach, going to left field a little bit more, he gets that, you know, ground ball to left field, beat the shift kind of hit. And all of a sudden he doesn't come up that last time. And if he does get a walk, which he's very good at getting walks, that average stays on the rise.
And so when you add that 280 average to his ability to walk, which is very good, his on-base percentage right now is .391. To put that into context, the league average floats between .315 and .320, and his on-base percentage is .391. We're not talking about a guy at this point that's searching still. I mean, this guy is performing at a really nice clip.
Playing pepper almost every day now to get better control of the barrel of the bat. Using left field.
Been about 45% better than your average major league hitter right now.
In the on-base category.
Yep, OPS plus.
OPS plus.
Which puts a guy's OPS on a scale of 100, where 100 is the average. Anything above that is the amount of percent better than average. Any number below that, clearly below average. And his is 145.
Still needs to, still needs to continue to grow. I like, he's still making adjustments. Essentially, even now, it's a little bit different stance, and hands are in a different position. But still needs to, cut down on the strikeouts. Still getting a lot of those, but you're seeing signs of improvement, no question.
Do you have the whole team in front of you? Is there anybody higher than him?
Find it quickly. Looking for OPS plus, so compared to the league.
Yeah.
For on base percentage.
Because I know, our offense has struggled, and you look up and just look at batting averages. You don't see anybody in 300. I don't think anybody's even over 290 on the team.
So Grandal has the best on base percentage, a touch over 400. Chase Utley's the only guy with a better on base percentage than Jock Peterson, who fouled that off on a line and looked straight in the air. We saw Corey Seager do a similar thing at Tampa Bay the other night, think that he had pulled the ball, when in fact he had shot a hit the other way. We mentioned that OPS plus number, which puts it on the scale of league average. He's #1 on the team in that.
Yeah.
Which takes the power numbers into account. His on base percentage doesn't. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some insurance on board here with 1 gone in the 9th. Peterson smacks it on the ground to second, and it gets by Barney. Jock holds on at first. Up to third goes Kendrick. And the baseball god smiling right now.
It's a rare day to see Darwin Barney make 2 errors, but we talked about the karma after he got the hit to score the first run off Clayton Kershaw, yelling at our dugout, cheering and waving his hands. He hadn't been the same cat since he did that.
It's a Gold Glover.
Yep.
Earlier in his career while he was with the Cubs.
It's a copper glove right now.
It's not as high quality as his gold.
No.
No. Second error of the day.
Did you see how I did that, Nomar? Kind of the same color, but not as good a metal.
I saw it.
What'd you think?
Just kept what I thought to myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better.
Yep.
Right.
I've learned.
Carl Crawford looks at a strike. Carl's 0 for 3 today, 1 day after his first multi-hit game of the season. Gianni's 0-1. Crawford slices it in the air to center, sending Pilar on the move, and he lays out to make the play. Splendid, but it's an RBI sac fly.
What a tremendous catch by Kevin Pilar. Let's hope he's okay. Slow to get up, but an incredible catch that here in Toronto they appreciate it. They see it quite often. He can cover some ground. He is a Gold Glove caliber center fielder. Goes a long way. Gets a great jump on that ball. Wow. Looked like he landed funny on his right arm / shoulder right here when he comes down. But oh, what a tremendous effort. Pitchers and fans alike appreciating it.
Got a little face burn from the rug. Probably a little burn on his arm also. It's not fun to run on plastic as hard as you can, dive, and have to put on the brakes with some parts of your body.
How about the center fielders we've gotten to watch on this trip? Yeah. Kevin Kiermaier down in Tampa.
I think we might be seeing some of the top 2 in the AL.
Yeah, I think that those 2 would probably be the 2 best.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they are guys that have become highly touted players because of their defense in an era where defense has been more valued. So ball's popped into short center. Barney's under it. And he'll make the play to end the inning. But the Dodgers, for the second inning in a row, add a run of insurance. Pilar, some amazing defense. But it's 6-2, and Kenley Jansen comes in to try and put an end to it.
He gets handed the ball that you're going to get to the other side, and his effectiveness, well, of course, the great velocity. 93, 94, 95. The cutter, the late movement of the cutter that gets the ball off the barrel of the bat. And then the accuracy. He is so consistent from one side of the plate to the next.
Retired the only batter that he faced on Tuesday night in Tampa Bay to get a save, is 152nd, which puts him 9 shy of the club record held by Canadian Eric Gagne. 10 for 10 this season, leading the majors. Bautista, Encarnacion, and Smoke. Ball 1 to Bautista, who is 1 for 3 today. Doubled off of the wall against Kershaw in the first, and a couple of ground outs. So the insurance from the Dodgers in the late innings making this much more comfortable for Jansen. It's 1-1. Sometimes you see guys that are used to pitching in the very highest of leverage situations come in when it's a little bit bigger gap and struggle some. But you figure when you're going through Bautista, Encarnacion, Smoke, Tulowitzki, gives you a little added jolt no matter the score.
It's almost like pitching in an all-star game.
Yeah, it really is. Popped him up. Right side of the infield, Kendrick. One gone in the ninth. Kelly Jansen, big Hoops fan, got to go to the Raptors game the other night. A lot of these guys taking full advantage of the great city of Toronto during this trip.
And we know Yasiel Puig takes advantage of a lot of places when he goes. He's one of those that really wants to learn about the city, go tour the places that he's playing in, and kudos to him.
Did he do all three of the activities that we heard that individuals did one of?
Yep. Team guy here at 5 a.m. on the off day. After traveling over from St. Pete, they immediately left on a fishing trip. Came back, maybe rested for a little bit before going to the basketball game that night. Got up early the next morning to go hang from the top of the CN Tower. Calling a strike on Encarnacion. Living life to its fullest. You can never accuse him of not doing that.
And then facing a knuckleballer today. So a lot of firsts for him.
That's right.
It's like seeing snow. Wow. 95 miles an hour and make a ball move that much. And late. Wow. That's a gift that he is really perfected.
Strike two. Mother's Day tomorrow. Ross Stripling pitching for the Dodgers. Marco Estrada for the Blue Jays.
Do not adjust your television sets when you see a bunch of pink.
You guys got pink in the wardrobe? Actually, you have a little bit today, Oral. But
yeah, I think I've got something. I don't know.
I got to go look. I don't know.
Maybe we got to swing by.
We may have to go pick something up.
Boys.
All right. Go.
Eaton's, is that the department store here?
Well, there's also Harry Rosen down the street too.
Oh well, not all of us are rocking the Harry Rosen stuff no more.
What?
It's pretty high end.
Can you get me a
store.
coupon?
It's a nice store.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
There's a 3-2. Encarnacion takes strike three over the inside edge.
You got the cut piece low and away, and you got the cut piece on the front door side. Right there. Good frame by AJ.
It's a really good pitch right there. Because when you're looking at it as a hitter, you're thinking, all right, that one's in. I'm going to walk here. I'm not going to swing at any bad pitches. And then it catches the inside part of the plate. Wow.
And so he's an out away from finishing off his 6-2 win for the Dodgers after the loss in the opener 5-2 last night. Another great outing from Clayton Kershaw. Went 7 innings tonight, or today. Gonna lose track inside here. There's ball one.
Pretty much how you write the script to break a losing streak.
And how about a 1-2-3 8th inning? This is a nice change of pace from what it's been lately.
Yeah, and Dave Roberts scrummed today, you know, talking about the bullpen. He said it's too soon. 10-11 outings for a bullpen is too short a time frame to evaluate. He admitted he's getting to know the guys, and I think when you're getting to know the guys, it's about who's comfortable right now coming into a middle of an inning, who needs to start a fresh inning, what are the matchups I like and I see statistically compared to my eyes.
I like Kenley coming in the ninth.
Me too.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Of course, guys, a newsworthy thing from that same media scrum for Dave Roberts was that he admitted that in the internal discussions, the first name at the top of that list for eventual pieces to add to the bullpen. Julio Urias, base hit into center for Smoke. I'm not sure that's necessarily a surprise, but I think it's probably a surprise to hear him verbalize that.
And I don't think it's imminent. I think that could get carried away on Twitter. Everybody hears it, you know, because they've been clamoring and looking for him anyway. And there's a little bit of angst about the bullpen not performing up to its potential yet. And I think that, you know, it is interesting that he would say that publicly.
It's funny. You want them to be honest. So when they're honest, they want to run with it. He's like, OK, he's on the list.
Yeah. And he's at the top of the list.
And he's one of at the top. Doesn't, you know, where is he on that list and what they want to go? A lot of factors, but.
Tulowitzki 1 for 3 today. Strike one.
You know, that's the way people broke into the big leagues in my day. You didn't just come up and you were a starter. You earned your way from being the 10th or 11th guy on the staff, and you were the long man, and you pitched in games where you're 5-1 down, and you eased in. You got to face maybe 7, 8, 9 in an inning. So to think, oh, you know, when's his debut and when's he going to start and all that is.
Tulowitzki bangs this one in the air to deep left. Fernandez almost overran it, but slows up and makes the play to end the game. A 6-2 Dodger win to even this series at a game apiece. LA is now 2-2 on the trip and will have a chance to have a winning series and a winning road trip tomorrow. Time now for our Lexus player of the game. It is Clayton Kershaw, who goes 7 innings and now has 3 consecutive starts with 10+ strikeouts and no walks. 2 people have done that in the last 100 years. Clayton Kershaw has now done it twice. Chris Archer, the Rays, did it last year. 6-2 the final score after the 5-2 loss last night. Ross Stripling takes it for the Dodgers, trying to win the series tomorrow against Marco Estrada. That does it for now.